East Asia is shaking, and China is losing sleep. Because for the first time in its modern history, Japan has broken one of its most sacred military restrictions, and the country it has chosen to partner with is not the United States. It's India, and Beijing is not ready for what's coming. The moment that changed everything, Japan has officially opened the doors for anti-submarine warfare, ASW, cooperation with India, breaking the limits of its collective self-defense doctrine. This is not a small policy tweak. This is the biggest turning point in Japan's defense history since World War II. Tokyo has given a green signal for joint ASW training, shared kill chain development, operational level collaboration, and for the first time ever, Japan is preparing to fight offensively in the Indo-Pacific with India as a frontline partner. Why Japan is doing this now? One word: China. China's navy is spreading across the South China Sea, the Western Pacific, the Indian Ocean, and as China increases pressure on Taiwan, Japan knows something very dangerous. 90% of Japan's energy supply moves through sea lanes threatened by China. Japan's new Prime Minister, Takaichi Sanae, came in with a bold statement. China is Japan's biggest security threat. Within days, Japan publicly warned China of missile deployment. For a nation that avoided aggressive militarization for 70+ years, this is a monumental signal. Why Japan no longer trusts the US 100%. Here's the uncomfortable truth, and many in Washington privately agree. Japan is not sure America will show up if China invades Taiwan. Under Trump-era unpredictability, the Quad weakened US moved toward America first. Washington hinted it may not carry allies in every conflict. Even the G20 exit was discussed. Japan read the signals clearly. Dependence on America alone is risky. So Tokyo made a historic decision. India gets the highest level of strategic priority. Why Japan needs India in ASW, even with all its tech? Japan is a technological superpower, so why rely on India for anti-submarine warfare? Reason number one, India's multi-layered kill chain. India dominates ASW in ways even Japan respects. P-8, I-Poseidon aircraft, MH-60R, submarine hunter helicopters, advanced ASW frigates, real-time kill chain integration. These systems directly pressure China's submarines across the Indo-Pacific. Reason number two, India has real combat experience. For 15 years, the Indian Navy has been shadowing and tracking PLA Navy submarines through the Indian Ocean choke points. Japan's strategy is historically defensive. India plays on the open ocean battlefield every single day. Reason number three, Japan just broke its own rules. Japan's constitution has strict self-defense limits, but Tokyo tore those limits down to allow ASW training with India. That tells the entire world Japan is done playing defensive. Japan is now preparing for real conflict, and India is the backbone of that shift. What India will teach Japan? Japan has tech. India has ocean warfare mastery. India will train Japan on how to dominate huge maritime zones with limited resources, how to identify tactical weaknesses in Chinese submarines, how to set multi-layered ASW traps, how to run long-duration shadowing operations like those in the Indian Ocean. Japan is developing offensive ASW capability for the first time ever, and India is becoming its most important mentor. Why China is panicking? Beijing fears three major outcomes. One, if China invades Taiwan, Japan will now enter the fight, for real. Not just support, not just logistics, but direct ASW combat involvement. Two, India knows China's submarine patterns better than anyone. This instantly weakens PLA Navy mobility. Three, China's Indo-Pacific strategy collapses if Japan and India unite. This partnership divides the Indo-Pacific into two clear poles. China versus the emerging India-Japan security alliance. And this new axis is something China never planned for. The rise of a new maritime superpower. Japan's decision to allow ASW collaboration with India is not a simple defense step. It's a message to the entire world. The Indo-Pacific is no longer unipolar. It is now bipolar. China versus India and Japan's rising alliance. And for India, this partnership accelerates its journey toward becoming the maritime superpower of Asia. Your question of the day. Do you think India should partner with Japan at this level? Yes or no? Tell us in the comments.